Hi, I'm David Wells, and this is the Salford Diocesan Sacramental Preparation Programme. Thank you for coming to this session, or indeed for watching this at home. We're very grateful that you're bringing your children to prepare for the sacraments of confession and Holy Eucharist. This is a very important time in the life of your children and your family, and we're really grateful. We know that parenting is probably the hardest thing any of us ever did. I think it's Michael Levine who said, having a child makes you no more of a parent than having a piano makes you a pianist. I mean, I remember taking Sam home. Sam is our first child, and laying him in his cot. I mean, he was a couple of days old. When he was awake, we wanted him to go to sleep. When he was asleep, we were prodding him to make sure he was okay. I mean, I remember just being scared and thinking to myself, well, in 18 years, I'll get my life back. Hey, being a parent has been the biggest challenge in our lives, and we know it's not easy. So we want to say welcome and thank you for bringing them along. You don't have to be a perfect parent, and they don't have to be a perfect child. Now here's the deal. Life is busy, isn't it? Isn't it crazy? I think it was James Dobson who said, we spent so much of our time giving our children what we didn't have that we forgot to give them what we did have. And it's crazy. I remember Sam saying to me one day, Dad, are you taking your laptop on holiday? Well, I remember thinking, how did I get so busy? Have you noticed? We've even got a greeting for each other. We say to each other, are you keeping busy? I mean, what kind of lives are we living? It's crazy. So I'm standing in a supermarket choosing bacon, smoky bacon, plain bacon. What do? And in the midst of that, I'm living out my own family chaos. Sitting in the trolley is Emily. She's about 18 months old and she's just screaming at me, piercing sound. Hanging onto the trolley is my 6-year-old Sam. And then somewhere else in the supermarket is my middle son, Matthew. He's somewhere shoplifting. And I am just a man of chaos, trying to be a good man and trying to do the right thing. And in the midst of all that ordinary chaos, a man taps me on the shoulder in a supermarket, points at my daughter and says, don't miss them growing up. I remember looking at him and I remember thinking to myself, are you crazy? This one was up at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. At 7 o'clock this morning, I'm a donkey with a Lego brick in my ear. It's madness. So we drive up the motorway. Years later, we find a hall of residence, the second floor, room 5 by the kitchen, and we're dropping Sam off. We open his suitcase. His mother takes his toothbrush and his toothpaste and puts them in a jar by the sink. And there we are. We hear voices in the corridor and we say to Sam, go and meet your new neighbours. Go into your new life. And as he leaves the room, I look at my wife, Alison, and she looks back at me. And then I remember seeing a hint of sadness in her eyes. And I said to her, I love you, you know. I always did. And she looked at me and she went, don't go there. Nobody told me that there's a time not to tell your wife you love her. Here was the thing. The man in the supermarket came back to me, right? The memory of him came back to me. And I remember thinking to myself, he said all those years ago, don't miss them growing up. You know, it wasn't advice he was giving, it was a confession. What he could have said was, seeing me and my small children, I missed them. growing up? Well, listen, you've brought your children to this programme, and we want to say thank you. You're not going to miss it. You'll be part of it, accompanying them, present in one of the most exciting moments of their lives. In John's Gospel, Jesus says, I have come that they, your children, us, all of us, may have life and have it in abundance. That's what we're going after on this programme. Life in all of its abundance. The dignity, the welfare, the happiness, the joy of your children is all part of this programme. And because you've agreed to participate in it, you're going to be there too. So thank you for being part of this programme. And here comes the questions.